Hi, it's Thomas D here with Gasworld, and we're back for Editor's Picks for Q2, which means I've been joined by our Global Managing Editor, Rob Cockerill. Rob, your first pick, what is it?
Well, thanks, Tom. We're going to a story in Egypt, first and foremost. I believe it was from late April, and this is Air Liquide announcing an $80 million ASU in Egypt for a steel customer, EZZ Steel.
Okay, so what's important about this story?
I think it's great, first and foremost, to hear from ASU developments in Africa. I think that's great to hear about. But also, it's just coming at a really interesting time. We're hearing a lot of inquiries coming into our gasworld business intelligence team about the Egypt market. And this is for the steel sector, as we said. And I believe that's one of the biggest end user markets in Egypt behind the manufacturing sector.
And the Egypt market, you mentioned there, how will this have an impact? What can you tell me about that?
Well, I think it will be quite interesting. I believe Air Liquide already has quite a dominant position in Egypt in terms of the market by players. As I said, the steel sector is also one of the biggest end user markets. And I understand from our colleagues in Gasworld Business Intelligence that there's some optimism around Egypt. The market has shrunk in currency terms, if you like, over the last decade, but actually there's optimism for further growth ahead, particularly as industries unlock further after COVID.
Okay, so exciting times coming, and we'll no doubt be all over that at Gasworld.
Absolutely.
So your pick two, we're moving elsewhere in the Middle East. This is a LNG project in Qatar. Yes,
it is, but it's actually the ASUs for the LNG project. So absolutely, we're staying in that EMEA region of Africa and Middle East. This is claimed to be the largest LNG development project in the world, I think. And actually, the nub of the story for us is SIAD Mikini and Piante, or SIAD MI as we refer to it. It's to supply 4 ASUs for this project, and it's a great sign of the link, if you like, with air gases and LNG and clean energies.
So do we see this as the start of many more of these deals to come about?
Potentially. I mean, we see a lot of these kind of deals all the time anyway, but we could be expecting to see more major ASU projects, not just with LNG, but with hydrogen. The hydrogen economy going forward as well, that's going to have a big requirement for large-scale ASU projects.
And pick 3, there's clearly a theme here. We're staying in the Middle East. We're going to go to Oman this time. What's this story?
Absolutely. I didn't intend for the region to dominate this quarter, but it's the way the stories have shaken out. So this is a world-scale green hydrogen-fueled ammonia facility in Oman. A lot to like about this. Ammonia is a really big topic right now. All the talk around kind of hydrogen society and hydrogen markets, ammonia keeps coming up. It's seen as the real viable market or route here with hydrogen. And this story absolutely sums it up. I think it was the end of May we saw this. It's actually 3 leading energy companies coming together. You've got Air Products, Aqua Power, and OQ. And this is going to be green hydrogen. So we're talking about renewable power here from solar, wind, and storage to produce green hydrogen, nitrogen, and green ammonia. So it's a very cutting-edge story.
So it's a world-scale facility. What impact will this have on the market?
It's just further validation of the need for green hydrogen in those hard-to-abate sectors, and this will be an example of that actually happening. So great story.
Great story. And your final pick, from one major in Air Products to one in Air Liquide. What's this story?
Yeah, so this is potentially a controversial one, Tom, and I've gone for an editor's pick here that isn't perhaps a conventional editor's pick. So this is Air Liquide's largest ever liquid hydrogen production facility, and it's in Las Vegas. Big headline grabber. There's a lot to like about this, and it's a sign of Air Liquide really investing in the hydrogen economy. But I think it also raises more questions, and that's why I've chosen this as my final pick. I think we've got questions here around, are you a pragmatist or are you a purist in hydrogen? What I mean by that is, are you all out green hydrogen? Are we pushing solely renewable hydrogen? Or are you more pragmatic and you believe we need to go for blue first and bolt on carbon capture and have that bridge to a green future? I think there's some big questions for our industry to answer here. Some argue it's at risk of greenwashing, or being seen to greenwash at the very least. Others, of course, will argue, doesn't matter what colour hydrogen, doesn't matter what shade it is or where it comes from, get it in, get it proven and get it established. And we've both heard that view on webinars this year alone. So there's some big questions to answer.
Absolutely, and do you think we'll have the answers to these, or will we continue to see projects such as this and creating more questions?
Good question in itself, Tom. I think we'll undoubtedly continue to see these projects. I'm a pragmatist myself, largely. I feel a bit torn at the moment, but I'm largely a pragmatist, and I will continue to champion the industrial gases industry's role in this hydrogen transition. I think it leads on experience and expertise and safety. But with more and more of these projects fueled by renewable natural gas in this instance, it will attract criticism and it will attract perhaps unwanted attention.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a busy Q2 for you, I know, and plenty of exciting stories to say.
Absolutely, it has. But what about you, Tom? I'll ask you again. What's your pick for the quarter?
For me, I like the exclusive we put out on the US semiconductor supply chain and the risks. We've just done a webinar about specialty gases and the shortages of krypton and neon. It's really looking like this is a critical stage, and we've seen a rise in the chip demand, 17% over the last year. So it's important to bring this story to the audience and try and resolve it somehow.
Absolutely, and Molly Burgess did a great job in her exclusive.
A great job of that.
And you've done a great job of shining a bit more of a light on that, Tom.
Thank you very much. Q3, we'll no doubt be back for some more exciting stories.
Absolutely.